Welcome to Safari Rally Kenya TV. My name is Shon. Welcome to Safari Rally Kenya TV. My name is Shon Osimbo, and today we are all the way in Syokimau, and we're going to talk to a guy who started off his year on a winning note, and he's looking forward to the WRC Safari Rally, the 2024 edition. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Samman Vohra. Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so let's just quickly get into it. Couple of days from the WRC Safari Rally, February is coming to an end, March is here, Easter weekend, everyone is looking forward to the WRC Safari Rally. So talk to us, the Vohra team, what is happening, what's going on? I know we are sitting next to your baby. Talk to us about your preparations.
I mean, in terms of preparations, the car has gone through a strip down after the Eldoret Rally. We're just getting the shocks rebuilt. But other than that, I think the car is good to go. Everything's good.
All right. And you'll talk to us about this amazing Skoda R5 that we're seeing here. But let's talk about the Eldoret Rally. We had very few entries, but you and your team, you went there and you emerged top. Talk to us about the motivation behind that success.
I'd say that the success is, thank you. You know, I give praise to a massive team that is behind the scenes that allows us to go out there and be successful. You know, it's not just the effort of myself and Alfir in the car. There is a huge team behind the scenes led by my brother, who put this all together. For us, we have one job, and that's to go and drive as fast as we can and as calculated as we can. It was a very surreal feeling to win Eldoret Rally. Naturally, yes, there were low entries, but we still did have some decent competition with the past Kenya champions, the Channas. And from across border, we had Yasin Nasser, who was also in a Rally 2 car. So, you know, for us, it was to go out there, keep building up our experience, and, you know, rally by rally, keep building our pace.
And let's just take you back. Let's rewind everything. And we just want to know how Samman Vohra got into rallying. Talk to us about your story. How did you get into motorsport?
I think the motorsport bug bit me when I was a very young kid. And I remember as a kid always pestering my father that, you know, I really want to do this sport. And naturally there was a lot of resistance from the ladies in the family, my mom, my grandma, all of them, you know, against motorsport. But it came to a time where my dad and I struck a nice deal, and that was that. You know, there was no looking back. We went ahead and we started with a rage buggy, and we started with the autocross championship. And in our first year of doing autocross, we won the national championship for two-wheel drive non-turbo. A year later, unfortunately, my father passed away. So I naturally took a break from the sport, and I came back to it the following year. And I just did one race, August 2018. And then October 2018, tragedy struck again. So we lost my mom, my grandparents, my dad's sister.
Sorry about that.
And I was the only survivor in that accident. So again, there was a bit of a break taken away from the sport. I had also sustained quite a few injuries in my spine, in my knees. And then around 2020, 2021, you know, I sat down with my brother and I said, I'm ready to jump back into the car. And, you know, for me, the biggest thing was his support. You know, naturally, everyone else in the family turned around to say, what on earth are you doing?
Yeah,
and, you know, after losing the whole family in a car, why are you jumping back into a race car? But for my brother and I, the principle was one: safety will always be our utmost priority, but we're not going to live the rest of our lives in fear.
In fear, yes.
And, you know, this is a passion I've had since childhood, so it was just to go back out there and, you know, carry on driving and following my passion.
Amazing.
So after autocross in 2021, we went in to do the Rally Raid Championship. We did, I think, 3 or 4 events in the Raid Championship. And we were always in the smallest car in Raid, against those big Century Racing Team prototype cars, but we were always competitive. So, to the rest of the team, they always had this feeling that, I've still got it in me. And then came around 2023, and we had the lucky opportunity to pick up this beautiful machine and take the plunge and now go into the Kenya National Rally Championship. So here we are. That's been a bit of my journey over the last couple of years.
And you decided 2024 is the year to take it to the next level.
That's the hope. I mean, we started last year. Actually, my debut in rallying was the WRC, which was baptism by fire in 2023.
Yes.
And my God, we were slow, just drove around. I barely knew the car, barely knew how to drive the car. And that's where as well, experience. So rally by rally, test by test, we've been picking up our experience, learning how, to drive this car and picking up the pace.
And let's quickly talk about your dad before we talk about the car. And as we're talking off camera, I told you your dad is quite the name when it comes to motorsport. He will forever be remembered. And that is why we have to, at least talk about him today. And, he was also chairman of the East African Safari Classic Rally, which is always quite also an amazing moment when it comes to, marketing Kenya and everything. And if you would just take us through it, some of the lessons and tips you learned from him, things that you hold special in your heart right now as a rally driver.
Motorsport was a journey I started with him. He was not very fortunate in his younger days to get into motorsport. So it was always like he was living his dream through me. He was a die-hard fan.
I'm sorry. And his legacy lives on. Every time I see the East African Classic Rally as Shon Osimbo, the first name that comes into mind is J.S. Vohra. And that is how we all knew him, J.S. Vohra. And I remember he was very kind. I remember when we planned on TV back in the day, and we'd have everything fed to us like as a media. We never missed any bit of information. And from that, and when I look at it years later, I realize, oh my goodness, this is why this event is also a big deal in the country.
I think the East African Safari Rally was a blessing in disguise. J.S. Vohra is a figure larger than life.
Yes.
He was, at the time, the managing director of Sarova Hotels, which is our family company. And I think the sport went hand in hand with the industry.
It did.
The East African Safari Rally is a 9-day event traversing through the most beautiful parts of Kenya. And he used the rally to promote the country, likewise used the rally to promote the tourism industry. And a man with great vision for Kenya, and a man who held tourism and motorsport at his heart.
And that's why we are also here to celebrate you today.
Thank you.
You've continued carrying that flag, and I can't wait to see how you're going to participate in the Safari Rally. I know you said last year, baptism by fire, but let's talk about this newbie. Talk to us about this Skoda.
So this is a Skoda Fabia Rally 2 Evo. It's been built in 2021. It's a work of art, a magnificent piece of engineering.
And not cheap, Samman, not cheap.
Not cheap to run, of course.
Yes.
But it's a 1.6 liter turbo engine. That follows the Rally 2 category, which is regulated by the FIA. So I'm sure you're familiar. We have the WRC cars thereafter, which are called the Rally 1. Now this is Rally 2.
Rally 2. And then I think I've seen the ones being driven that used to be driven by the Rally Star cars.
So those are Rally 3. They're one step down from this.
And then the others will be in the normal category.
Then you have the Group N, you have the B13.
So top. It's above there with the big boys.
As a privateer, this is probably the best you could get as a private entrant. And I'm very fortunate to be in the position to own this car and to drive this car. And I'd like to give my heartfelt gratitude to, of course, my late family, but to my brother Savir as well.
Yeah.
He's been instrumental in us driving this car and been instrumental in our success with it.
Yeah. And does Savir ever think of driving
No.
in the Safari? Or
So-
he's just the brains behind everything right now?
I remember as kids, my mom always used to say, I don't have 10 or 20 kids that I can afford to lose on in this sport. But Savir is actually more of a water person. Savir is a licensed boat captain by Kenyan Marine. And whenever you find Savir on holiday, he's probably somewhere deep out in the sea with his boat.
Oh, wow.
And so Savir is more on the water, I'm
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah, but also another request we really received from the fans is people also want to hear the stories of people behind the team. So I think Savir will be lovely to talk to later. If he says yes, we can always talk
Absolutely,
to him. And,
Savir would be happy to talk to you. All of this, everything in our rallying, especially behind the scenes, is all done by him. He's our team principal, he's our manager, he's everything to this team, and he makes everything possible. So, as a team, our heartfelt gratitude goes out to him.
Last year, baptism by fire. This year, I know you were looking forward to good results, and it's a very challenging terrain. So if you can just talk to us, what are you planning to change in terms of adapting to, the different driving styles, strategy, tackling, making sure you can now post positive results this year?
You see, the Safari Rally back in the day was an endurance event. Now it's become more of a sprint event, but there is still an element of endurance to it. It's a 3-day event, and I think all it comes down to is pacing yourself stage by stage. There are some stages that are car breakers, but there are some that you can commit and push the car through. So I think it's more about driving with your head this time rather than your right foot. It's more just about being calculated, not taking any silly risks. And I think in the Safari, just getting to the end, you're going to be in a good spot because it's a rally of attrition. People drop like flies. So just getting to the end, I think you're going to end up in a good position.
Do you have any favorite stage of the Safari?
I'd say geothermal. Geothermal is not just a fast stage, but it's beautiful. And it's the stage I remember having the most fun on last year. So,
now back to this car you're driving. The pressure is on another level. You have to concentrate. You woke up early in the morning and you're in here with Alfir. Talk to us about how you guys coordinate, about how you guys still stay bros, but anything, it can get heated, you can be desperate, you can be, it's a whole lot going on.
Absolutely. I mean, thankfully, Alfir actually, a bit of backstory on Alfir. He's a previous rally driver himself. He's won multiple rallies, multiple championships. He was actually runner-up in the Pirelli Star Championship back in the day. So for Alfir to jump into the navigator seat was a big jump for him. He's not used to sitting on that side of the car. But Alfir has actually been my coach from the very first day I started racing. Back 9-10 years ago, it was Alfir who sat next to me coaching me. So he still plays that role till today in the car. As much as he's navigating, he's coaching, he's guiding, he's mentoring. But greater than that is the relationship we share. Alfir and I have had a wonderful relationship over the years that continues to develop. He's an elder brother, he's a very close friend, he's a confidant. So outside the car, there's a wonderful relationship. What happens in the car, thankfully there are no speakers or no microphones to hear some of the things. It does get heated, especially when we're driving at the pace we are now. It takes one very small error to end in catastrophe. And that's where thankfully his experience comes into play, keeping us on the road. So there is a lot of pressure, but we're still great friends at the end of the day. Amazing.
And if you were to mention 3 things you like about Alfir, what would you say? Just 3.
I don't know if I can say none, but I mean, Alfir is a wonderful chap. He's got a great heart. He's he's a very kind guy, honestly. And I think his greatest quality of all is his ability to share his knowledge, to teach, to be so open about it. Not everyone.
He doesn't gatekeep.
No, he doesn't gatekeep, which is something that's really unfortunate in our rallying little family. Some people have the skill or have the knowledge but don't want to share.
Yeah.
Alfir on the flip side is like a walking encyclopedia, always willing to help the next, and I guess that's why part of the reason we are here where we are today.
Yeah. And motorsport especially, the Safari Rally is very, very expensive to the teams. I know there are drivers, navigators, teams out here, they're just panicking because the money aspect is very, very crucial. Sponsorship, and there's something that I keep on saying, there's something missing a little bit between some corporates in Kenya, and also the rally teams. Yes, yet it's a free marketing, full marketing when you get into it. The visibility you get from the Safari Rally is maximum. What can you say about this situation, and you personally as Samman and your team, what would you say to the sponsors out there also?
So as a situation as a whole, I think it's really unfortunate that the number of sponsors within the rallying community has continued to decrease. It's making it harder for people to organize events. At the same time, it's making it harder for drivers to enter events. Yes, there is a lot of economic downturn, companies are still recovering, but I feel like we need more support from the Kenya Motorsport Federation. I feel like they're the ones with the most power to bring back sponsors. And on a personal front as a team, I can only thank the companies within the family group. My title sponsor being Sheffield Steel Systems Limited, and our partner there, Dr. Suresh Kanotra. Actually, since my first day of racing, it's been Sheffield that have always backed me wholeheartedly and continue to be my title sponsors as we chase down the championship. We've also got the other family companies. We've got Sarova Hotels, we've got Semco Limited, we've got Magical Skies, Magical Aviation, 4-Stroke Motors, our family heritage, Sadar Singh Vohra. So all the companies come together in their own little ways to make this dream a reality. So I'd like to thank every company support for your unwavering support and getting us here.
Amazing, amazing. And in your own opinion, what do you think sets the Safari Rally apart from any other races you've been part of?
I think now more than ever is the hype it comes with being an event that's on a global calendar.
Yes.
And the backing it comes with, with the likes of our current heroes. You've got Sebastian Ogier, you've got Kalle Rovanperä. So when you have such names coming to your country, you have the World Rally Championship as it is, coming back to Kenya. There is a certain amount of hype attached to it. And when you look back at it, Kenya has always been synonymous with rallying. So I think, and for Kenyans, it's a weekend out in the bush. You've got your booze tucked away, you've got your sherehes going on. So, Vasha, as they call it. The hype lives on.
Yes, yeah. And do you think you can share with us some of your favorite memory or moments from past rally experiences, and how it has now influenced your approach to the safari?
I think I'd say my most favorite moment in rallying was the last year Kajiado Rally, when Alfir and I gave a really big push. And at the end of the last stage, Marble 2, Alfir just looked at me and said, we've won.
Wow.
And that was my first win. So I'd say that was the greatest moment, the most surreal moment.
And you'll never forget it.
And we both drove from the end of the stage back to service, quiet with tears in our eyes.
Oh, that was quite the moment.
Yeah.
Wow. Wonderful. And you just never know about this safari. Maybe it will also be another teary moment. I like how also when you talk about Alfir, you tear up because you understand how it has been a journey.
It has.
And I think now with this safari, you're like, oh my goodness, this is real.
I think those who were around when we first got this car knew the struggle we went through. and how instrumental Alfir was in getting us to this point today.
Yeah.
So that's something, you know, I never take for granted. It's part of a relationship I never take for granted. And, you know, when I look back at other memories, he and I have had some great moments in the car. We've had moments where he and I are actually laughing, going into a triple caution, or we're just having a little conversation totally aside from rallying in the middle of a committed stage. I know you end up coming out and he'll, you know, the moments where he'll abuse you and ask you what you're doing, and then 2 minutes later he'll just be like, but, you know, well done, bro, that's the way to save it. So we do have our light, funny moments, we do have our tense moments, but I mean, every moment in this car in a rally is a moment to cherish for life.
Amazing. I can't wait to see what you guys will do. More just, you know, making the memories. Let's now, as we wrap up, just looking ahead, what are your aspirations and goals for your rallying career? And how does the Safari Rally also factor into now, you know, the long term? What next for Samman?
So fundamentally, rally is a hobby and will forever remain a hobby.
So you're here to stay?
I'm here to stay. Rallying is not something where I'm looking to become a professional athlete at, or, but, you know, I'm looking to give the Kenyan competition a good run, and eventually, you know, give it a shot at the Africa Rally Championship. That's a long-term plan. For now, you know, we don't say that, you know, we're going to win the championship or anything. We just keep saying that our only goal is to keep building our experience. We've only done 5 rallies, Safari being our 6th now. So we're just looking to build our experience and keep building our pace rally by rally. And hopefully, when we are crowned champions, that's the icing on the cake.
Amazing. So, as now officially, last question.
Take your time.
3 words to describe Samman Vohra, if you're to describe yourself.
I'd say passionate, hardworking, and I think driven.
Wow.
Very driven.
Wow. And I know we'll be seeing all that during the safari.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We look forward to seeing you at the rally, and most importantly at the end of the rally.
And a message to your fans.
I mean, thank you to all the fans out there for your continued love and support. You know, we do a lot of this, part of this sport is for you guys, and keep it going. We look forward to seeing you out there on the stages during safari. Be safe, you know, follow the marshal's instructions, don't drink and drive, but have fun.
Don't drink. Yes,
thank you, guys.
That's a good message. Don't drink and drive, guys. Thank you so much for talking to us, Samman Vohra. Thank you for welcoming us into your lovely garage. I can't wait to, you know, post extra videos for people to just see and understand what goes on. And guys, this is a beast. Samman owns a beast. Even if he didn't go into full details, this is a very good, and I can't wait to see how this Skoda performs during the WRC Safari Rally. Thank you so much. We wish you the very best. We'll be there to cheer you on. We'll be like, Samman will be on the sidelines doing that. Thank you. We were talking to Samman Vohra. He started the year off on a very good note, winning the Eldoret Rally in the KNRC, and we're looking forward to see what he'll be doing in the WRC Safari Rally. Don't forget that race happens over Easter weekend, March 28th to March 31st, and we'll be there to bring you all the details. Thank you. My name is Shon Osimbo.